You ever thought about the impact that you could have on the young people in your life, children, teenagers, and sharing your crafts and your love of crafts, your love of embroidery with them? They say that the art of sewing is dying and that people are forgetting how to use sewing machines. And I was reading some article about this, and it made me think back to whenever I was a very young preteen and my exposure to sewing and who gave me that exposure. My great-grandmother, I went to stay with her for 2 weeks, and she didn't have a lot of money. And so during those 2 weeks, she taught me how to quilt by hand, piece, crochet, and I don't know why, it just really stuck with me. And we worked on that together for 2 weeks. And when I got back home to my family, I just continued it. So I finished that quilt by hand. I wonder what lives in there. Maybe a bunny? Or it could be a snake. No, Santa. Fast forward to when I became a mother. All through my pregnancy, I was crocheting, quilting, making things for the new baby. Ugh, spider web. Ugh. Sorry. That happens out here. I usually carry a stick and try to get the spider webs before they get me. My mom, she didn't start sewing from home, so we didn't have a sewing machine at home at all until I was well into teenage years. And then and I was homeschooled as well, so my mom taught me and my sister to sew, and we were sewing quilts, and I just really love that. There's just something about taking little pieces of fabric and stitching them together to create this massive thing that you can actually use, a quilt. This vine has wrapped around this tree at some point and distorted the shape of this tree as it grew. Here recently, I've been really intrigued by the Singer Sew Handies from the 30s, 40s, 50s, the little tiny black chain stitch machines. And I've collected a couple. And they are just an engineering marvel to me. They're just so tiny and well made. And it's apparent to me that during the war, pre-war, during the war, after the war, that sewing toys for little girls was a serious business, because there's just so many of them. And the Singer featherweights, I think over 1 million, maybe even 2 million Singer featherweights were made. So what happened? Why did sewing fall out of favor? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But it's extremely sad to see it happening. Can you imagine embroidery stopping with your generation? How can we prevent this? There's a deer down there. Do you see her? We have about 12 deer who visit our property, and they are all pregnant. There they go. So those deer, they will have their babies in June, so next month. And then one day the mama will disappear and she won't show up in the yard to graze on the clover. And then about 2 days later she'll come back and she'll have a little bitty baby. sometimes and often she'll have more than one baby. So she'll have two. And she has them all cleaned up and they're just so cute and tiny. In the past, I have done some sewing projects with my daughter. So we turned a pair of jeans into a denim skirt. She made a dress. She made a quilt when she was 7 or 8 years old. I'm really proud of her for that. I think she still has it. So I think it's important that we try to include the little ones in our life, in our projects. Even if they're too small to operate the machinery, they can pick the materials, pick the project, and kind of accompany you for a few minutes while you're working on each step. And they understand how something comes together, how something is made. I think today, kids in the store, they just see toys on the shelf and they just think they come from a box. They don't really understand how something came to be that they want. This stuffed animal or this doll or this toy. And so unraveling the mystery of how something is made to them can just be such an enriching experience for a little one. My husband cut 7 miles of trails on this property for us to enjoy. So we're in a low spot here. And we came from up there. So I have to find a way to cross this, and the way I usually do it is I have to tell Sansa to wait because she'll jump across without me. So I'll just come over here till, wait Sansa, wait on me. Wait on me, baby. Okay, hang on. Becca is slow. So I have to kind of jump over there. Let's see if I can do this with the camera. And now I have to go uphill. She kind of pulls me from this point, thank goodness, because I need help. If you had someone who influenced you in your youth and you feel like they made you who you are today, why don't you share it in the comments with us? I would be really interested in reading about your experience and how you came to love your craft, your embroidery, your sewing. Who taught you? I wish my great-grandmother was still with me today so that I could tell her how thankful I am that she took the time and had the patience to teach me something it's pretty complex, hand quilting. So, yeah, I just thought I'd share that. Let me know what you think and have a good day. Thank you.